Avoid reading. Got confused? Yes, this is a video, not just another video, but this is a video on reading. But I wanted to share something that how much it embarrasses you if you don't read and what reading actually does to you. There might be something you want to achieve in life. There might be something you want to gain in life, or you may want to quit the rat race, or you are trying to achieve something but you just can't find the path. So let me share a story with you, which is my personal story of embarrassment back in 2011. And the reason I want you to hear this story is because although being a non native English speaker, I could muster the courage to speak to a camera, and I have improved my English a lot, which is I feel. And of course, when I communicate with others, I get the feedback and I'm still improving. But if a person like me can do this, and not personally, just by reading something, then I'm sure you will be able to take something out of this video after hearing my story. So now you might be thinking that yet another guy who is trying to say that reading is much more imperative than it needs to be. Don't Doesn't he understand that I don't have time to read, or I struggle so much to read a book? But before you reach to that decision, here is my story of embarrassment. And back in the day, I was working for a company who dealt in medical records, and I used to speak with a lot of people who were from the states. I was speaking with one of the project managers, and there was some reference in the documentation. And in medical field, there is a lot of documentation. So I was trying to read through that, and there was a word named ream, which is now I know how it's pronounced. Back then, I pronounced it as real M. The spelling is Real and ends with an M for mother, and I read it as real M. And immediately the project manager, she was so ferocious and she got so disappointed with me. And she is a very good friend of mine even now. But back then, she said that you are in this age, you're working for such a company, and you can't even pronounce this basic word. And then she just hung up the phone. And after that, it got me thinking that actually I cannot pronounce this simple word. And that was the day which changed my life 360-degree, because I did not start reading immediately, of course. Another instance which came up was there was a presentation which was going to happen on, like, the Cyber Mondays and all those days, like Thanksgiving. So there was a huge presentation, there was a huge function actually, for which they were trying to select speakers who could present a certain topic. And in that very thing, there were 11 candidates from my team, and 10 of them got selected. I was the only one who was rejected because I could understand the language, but I was not able to compile it or put my point across in the simplest form possible. And when that hit, I was really embarrassed. I was so much embarrassed that, like, took, like, I don't remember exactly, but I took like 3 or 4 days off to come out of it. And then I thought how to start now. So what I did is started reading interesting things on Wikipedia, not paying any attention to how the grammar was, but I was reading a lot. And before I could understand, automatically, and also was speaking with with people from the states, automatically certain sentences started to flow more easily, come to me more easily. And I was facing less difficulties communicating with the clients. And of course, after that, like, long story short, I was promoted as a senior tech and whatnot. And after that, I started reading books which interested me. I did not start with novel or something. I'm not going to tell you which book you should start with or how you should start with right now, but I need you to understand what it does to you. Because once I started reading, now I can come up with ideas. My constructions are much more familiar to everyone. At least they are neutral if they are not native to the states or to the UK, but they are doing a great job. And how I can reach to this conclusion is because I I get regular feedbacks, and every now and then I keep asking my friends or people whom I am reporting to that was this point clearer, or what was this email properly drafted. Although I know that it's properly drafted, and the funnier part is I don't use Grammarly, and of course, I don't use AI now, because what it does, it doesn't put any strain on your mental muscles, and that's the reason you possibly never learn anything. That's the reason I've kept it raw, like the traditional thing, and it has helped me a lot. So before coming to an end or before you leave, I don't know how much boring I may be, but two things which you can take away from this video are personal growth and improved relationships. Let me tell you in as few words as possible. Personal growth encompasses every single thing which is required for an individual to move ahead in life. It can be anything, whether it can be art or anything. Even for art you need a lot of reading so that you grasp or imbibe the things which are beautiful, and then your brain processes that, and then you can come up with a new idea. And this is applicable to each and every single thing, whether it's presentation, business presentations, anything. And why I say improved relationships is because if I'm trying to say something and the person listening to me understands something else, you may have encountered it personally that sometimes for no reason people start fighting with each other over a single point, because there might be a possibility, this is not always the case, but mostly like 60 to 80% of the times there is a possibility that both of them are not able to communicate properly, and that's the reason they get into a fight, and it is like a never ending thing, and for no reason we keep it in our hearts or in our brain, and it keeps repeating over and over again. So if you have the reading habit, your mind contemplates more, understands more, and responds less. But whenever it responds with precision and confidence. And these are just two which I mentioned, which are the most important